Alright everybody, it is October the 22nd, 2019, and a beautiful Tuesday morning here. It's actually kind of humid out. The sun, as you can see behind me, is trying to make its way and shine down on all of us. I'm trying to do this every day where I get a new morning routine where it's I wake up, do this, put it out, go to work, instead of wake up at the last minute for work, be in this big huge hurry, still be tired when I'm driving on my way to work, get there and just feel like shit. I'd rather wake up early, chug. This morning I had 2 cups of coffee. I'm amped right now and I feel a million times better waking up 3 hours earlier than I would if I woke up 3 hours later and it was in this big rush and I'm like, Daisy, come on, we gotta go outside, and she's trying to sleep and I gotta force everything. And I just think that this is the way to go. And I think it's a cool way to start out y'all's day too. Maybe you wake up and you got nothing to do in the mornings. You're sitting there watching boring news coverage and you're like, man, this is the same shit every day. Now you get a little dose of the couch talk. So for all of you potheads out there who are like, oh, it's a smoke break, he's going to be smoking weed. No, I'm not. Sorry. One, I went over it in the last one. It's not good for my brain and what's going on with me and my mental illness. Everybody's got it, but seriously, it's not good for me to be smoking weed. I'm giving up on it. At the very least, I am cutting down by 98%, and I'm just barely smoking anymore. And I just feel so much better. I'm eating more food. I'm sleeping much better, except for when I get in this manic state type shit where I can't sleep at all. And I never thought I'd actually feel better not smoking weed, and I do. And the next thing to quit is these cigarettes right here. But honestly, like I said in the last one, I like cigarette smoking. I like it. I'm sorry. I know it's bad for me. You don't need to tell me. And also, like, who doesn't know by now? And all you people smoking Juuls and stuff, I don't care. I used to think it was stupid. I honestly don't care at all. If you want to smoke a Juul, smoke a fucking Juul. If you want to smoke a cigarette, smoke a cigarette. And if you don't want to, don't tell other people that they shouldn't, because it's 2019. Who the fuck doesn't know that this is bad for them? Is there seriously a single person in the modern world who, if you told them, you know, cigarette, you're going to get cancer from that, they wouldn't know that? We all know. Okay? So, while you're telling me to stop smoking cigarettes, how about you stop eating shitty food? Unless you are literally a perfect person, shut the fuck up. So now that I got this morning anger out, let's keep it going. Like I said, it feels good. I don't know if I said it because I had to restart this a couple times because I actually had to change because I spilled coffee on my other shirt that I was wearing. I wasn't wearing a nice shirt. I was wearing a regular classic t-shirt. Spilled coffee on it, and I was like, you know what, I want this to be taken serious, so let me dress more serious. And I think I'm going to do the shirt and tie all the time, definitely for all the solo ones, and then when I have guests we'll see. I don't really want to be wearing a tie and a nice shirt when I have a guest come over and they're just wearing regular clothes and then feel weird. So I think it's just going to be a solo episode thing, but I enjoy it. Like, in my job, I do wallpaper and paint. I in no way get to dress nice at all. I wear clothes that are covered in paint, and they all look, I look like shit every day. So it's nice for me when I'm doing the thing that I love to dress and look nice and feel, if you look good, you play good. And if you look good, you pod good. And I really do feel much better waking up, doing a tie, taking Daisy for a walk, feeling just like a fucking man, you know? But let's move forward here. I got a couple little notes, little bullet points I want to hit on, and we'll get the fuck out of here and begin our day because I have to be at my dad's at 8 o'clock, and it is 7:11. We're working out in Amelia Island today, and instead of me driving all the way out there, I'm just going to his house, and we're going to ride together. But Florida Man, the whole, like, Florida Man concept has already been hacked for like a pretty long time, and I'm not talking about the kid who claims himself to be Florida Man. I forget his name. I've DM'd him before and had a conversation with him. Super cool dude, the redhead kid who was in the hurricane with the American flag. I'm not talking about him. I am talking about just something crazy happens, and even it's like on Joe Rogan's podcast, it's like such a bit and a hacky joke to make fun of Florida, and Florida's so crazy. And I'm not even saying that because I'm from here, but what got me was I saw a story that said Florida man blah 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 blah, and I look into it, and apparently, and I could have, the article that I read was saying that it wasn't actually in Florida, but to get clicks, this other website, newspaper type thing deemed it Florida man. And like, how much more bullshit does the news need to be? Like, that's how important clicks are, that a crazy story that happened in Montana isn't good enough. It needs to be a Florida man story to get clicks. Like, what the fuck is going on? I have been on an ice cold water kick. I have been kicking ice cold water. I've been kicking its ass. I've been drinking at least fucking 8 or 9 of these a day. I absolutely love it. And I used to drink not 8 or 9 sodas a day, but I would drink this thing filled up all the way with ice and whatever carbonated soda, whether it be root beer, which might be my all-time favorite. Root beer is so fucking good. Dr. Pepper, or the classic Coca-Cola. Classic Coca-Cola is probably my all-time favorite, but for the past couple months, and maybe it's just because I've been drinking so much water and I'm only drinking at most 1 soda a day, I get that root beer and it tastes so good, dude. Root beer is so underrated. And you know what? Root beer floats, dude. I haven't had a root beer float in so long and I need it. So, I just think we need to get away from the Florida man thing. Basically, it's just so hacky. Enough is enough. And there's even like a Instagram page that's all dedicated to like Florida man and things that happen in Florida, all this crazy bullshit. I think it's really stupid. But another little bullet point I have is, this was pretty funny, something that happened. I hadn't gone grocery shopping, and it was one of those situations where when you go through basically bipolar, you sleep all the time, and you get in these weird, so I'm in this, at the time, I was in the sleep all the time stage where I was just depressed and I couldn't get out of bed. I'm sleeping like 16 hours straight, still feeling tired, and I just didn't have it in me to go to the grocery store and go grocery shopping. So I wake up, it's like 1 in the morning, I'm fucking so hungry because I hadn't eaten at all that day because I woke up feeling all some sad, and I go to work and I'm even more sad, and then I just get home, walk Daisy, and pass out. So no food, and finally I wake up so hungry, and I see that my roommate had leftovers, and I was like, yes. And I knew he went to a Mexican restaurant. I am Mexican. If you don't believe me, that's fine, but CJ stands for Christopher Jorge. Look it up if you are a cop or something. I don't know how you could find out what my actual name is other than me showing my ID to you, and I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have to like put tape over shit, and it's just, why would I lie about being Mexican? My mom's half Mexican. I grew up in a Mexican restaurant, De Leon's Mexican restaurant. If you are a Jacksonville native and you remember off of San Jose behind the Outback Steakhouse, there was a Mexican restaurant. Its name was De Leon's, and it was the best Mexican in Jacksonville. And I was blessed enough that was my grandfather, and I grew up just eating the best Mexican food. So places like La Napolera can suck my dick. I'm so glad they're closing. They're absolutely terrible. La Napolera, also, something fascinating about that place, when you order your food and drink at the same time, somehow your food, sorry, I just got a little text there. Somehow your food shows up before your drink. And it's not like they forgot your drink. That's how fast the food just is ready. I don't understand how it's ready that fast. It's very strange. But the point is, I saw leftovers. I know he had Mexican. I was so excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to get some Mexican. Sorry, roommate. It's been in there for 2 days already. If you haven't eaten it after 2 days, it's going to go bad. And I need to do the right thing for those starving kids all across the world and eat this fucking food. So I open it, and it's chicken fingers. What? From a Mexican place? Fucking chicken fingers, dude. What? That is... And I didn't have food. Like, I could go get food, but the point is I didn't have food, and I still lost respect for somebody who had food based off of what they got. How do you get chicken fingers at a Mexican restaurant? Just get fucking tacos if you can't hack it and, like, plain shit. It was just... I lost all respect for him. It was very weird. It's just... That's blasphemy. That is absolute blasphemy to get fucking chicken fingers from a Mexican restaurant. And even more blasphemy to get chicken fingers to go and not eat them fucking as soon as you get back home, at least that same night, and then just leave it in there and torture me with the idea of Mexican food. And I open it and it's like 2.5. One of them, of course, was half eaten. Chicken fingers? Get the fuck out of here, dude. So, you know, I'm kind of running out of time here. I had a lot more to say. I'm going to leave it with, I was, as you can see, this baby face, I do shave, but I'm 27 years old. I look like I am 16, 17. I do wallpaper and paint. I go to people's houses, and they literally think that I am a child. They think that I'm, like, skipping school to work with my dad. That happens all the time. I got tattoos. Like, what do you think? I got these tattoos, and I'm not showing you these to be cool. I'm showing you because these people see that, and they still think I'm in high school. And I don't know if that's like, everyone's like, oh, well, you'll really, you'll like that when you get older. And I'm sure, but like, it's insane to think that I'm in high school if I'm 27 years old. It makes me feel weird. And what was the point of the fuck? Oh, so obviously, like, I was a slow developer, if you will. I was the last person in my group to get pubes, and I know that because I'm going to say first names. It's Nelson, Will, and me. We're having a sleepover. It's like 8th grade or something, and we're all joking around, and they're talking about their pubes. And I remember they go into the bathroom, and they pull one of these. I'm not going to show you, but they're like, I guess they shaved really funny. And no, don't worry, we didn't see no dicks. It was all pubes. And it doesn't even matter, even if we did see dicks. Like, what? Think it's gay to show your friends dicks and touch them and grab them and suck on them? That ain't gay. That's just being a man. But obviously that didn't happen. But I remember standing there like, I don't have pubes. What's wrong with me? Why don't I have pubes yet? What's going on? Am I doing something wrong? And I honestly felt like I was just so far behind. And also, I remember they were talking about, like, coming and jizzing and stuff, and I was like, I masturbate, and that's something weird. I used to whack off, and nothing would come out, which is so weird. And even weirder, like, if this is my dick, okay, instead of whacking off like this, like a smart person, like an adult, I would do it like this, and just at the tip, because I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember one time, so, this is how stupid I was. My grandma and grandpa lived in my house because in the backyard, we had 2 acres, they were building a house in the backyard. So they were living at our house while it's being built. So one night, she's sleeping in the living room, and there was like a pull-out mattress, and her and my grandpa had a really weird relationship, and sometimes they'd sleep together, and sometimes they wouldn't. So she's sleeping in the living room, I get home, and now I'm sleeping on the couch part, and she's on the, like, pull-out bed. And I got my leg, so I'm laying down with my legs up like this, you know, and I was sitting there whacking off. Nothing came out, and I'll never know if she knew. And I know that's weird, but that's just the motherfucking truth. So I'm going to end this with my first time coming. I was at a friend named Garrison's house, and for whatever reason, his house, we just would always look at porn. So he had a computer in his room, and we're looking up porn and shit, and then he goes to take a shower, which in hindsight, it just hit me, he probably went in there to masturbate because we were watching porn. And he goes in there. You know, I was very confident that I wouldn't get caught whacking off because I can hear the shower. You know what I mean? He's not going to have the shower running and just come out. So, here's what happens. Here we go. I go on to my favorite, to this day, maybe it's a nostalgia thing, but check out Desiree Spencer, Desirae, last name Spencer. She's naughty at home. something about her, maybe it's just because she was literally the first time that I busted a real nut. I just, I could still whack off to her today. She might be the only porn star that I actually know by name, other than the famous ones. I'm not into porn stars. I just like a video. I watch it. I don't give a fuck who's in it. I just don't want to hear the guy talking and being all weird. That shit. How about in 2020, no more male voices in the porn, unless it's a special category. I don't want to hear that shit. But anyways, I'm sitting there and she's doing her thing and I'm doing my thing, whacking all weird. And it's time for the orgasm. I've probably been whacking off for 2.5 years at this point. It never came in my life. So, orgasm time. Boom! All of a sudden, and it didn't like shoot out like a fucking rocket ship blasting off. It wasn't a SpaceX ship going to space. It was more like when so you know how sometimes the sewage will get backed up and your toilet will just bubble a little bit. That's what happened. It just barely came out, and I got scared at first, but I'd watched so much porn I realized I just busted a real nut. So there it is, everybody. The first time I ever busted a nut. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I don't want to end this at all, but it is 7:23 and I have to leave my house in 8 minutes. I'm going to try and, well, I guess in 7 minutes, but I'm going to try to get this uploaded before I go to work. I'm going to try to get to my dad's early, and I'll just leave my laptop there and let it be uploading while I'm working. But I really hope you enjoyed this extremely weird smoke break. I don't think I need to drink 2 cups of coffee anymore. I think 1 will do it. I have this new coffee that is so fucking strong. I don't know what it is. My roommate just like went and did his deployment and he left a bunch of coffee here. And it's very extreme and it works very good. So I'm going to leave it at that. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'll keep y'all updated on when the podcast episodes come out, the audio. But until then, I'm going to keep doing these smoke breaks. Go check out the one from yesterday if you haven't yet. And love you. Bye.